Welcome back to the Dad Days, everyone. Today I'm going to be making a scone recipe out of this old Scottish tea time little book that I have. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm going to be doubling the recipe, but here's the recipe. If you want to screenshot this. Okay, there you go. So the first thing is 16 ounces of flour. That says self-rising, but I'm going to be using Einkorn, and for every 8 ounces, add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Dump it in. I have a helper in the kitchen today. We need 2 of those.
2, 2, 2, 2.
So that's 1, 2. Do a little bit more because that wasn't full. Perfect. Okay. So we're just gonna mix that together.
Let me do it.
Oh, you wanna mix? Okay. Here we're gonna. Okay, so that was 2 teaspoons of baking powder and about a half a teaspoon of salt. This is 4 ounces of butter. I already measured it out and cut it into small cubes and had it chilling in the fridge. I'm just gonna dump that in and cut that in with a fork to the flour. The butter is pretty evenly incorporated now, about pea-sized chunks. So we're going to be adding just enough milk. The recipe calls for 2 ounces of milk per 8 ounces of flour, but really you're just adding just enough for the flour to turn into a dough ball. So you don't want it too wet or too dry. You're adding just enough milk for it to come together and form a dough ball. I'm using an einkorn flour, and because of that, I'll probably need more than the called for 2 ounces of milk. Again, I'll be adding just enough until it comes together and forms a dough ball. Before I get to that point, while it's still a little clumpy, I'm going to actually stir in some chocolate chips and make these scones chocolate chip scones. The recipe also calls for 1 teaspoon of sugar, but I'm actually going to be kneading in some honey and just using honey in our scones. And then I'll drizzle a little bit more honey over the top of them before they go into the oven. I just seasoned the pan with a little bit of tallow. And I'm just going to be hand shaping these. Okay, I put the last couple on my cast iron pan. I'm just drizzling a little bit of honey over them, and then they're all going to go in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, so that's the finished scones. The one thing that I forgot to mention, and I made the mistake myself, is once you create the dough ball, it's better to chill that in the fridge for at least 30 minutes to an hour, as they will rise and not flatten out as much. These flattened out a little bit. Even though they flattened out a bit, these are still really good. They have a little bit of crunchy bits around the outside, and they're still delicious, but they're even better and a little more fluffy if you chill the dough for 30 minutes to an hour before you bake them. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I recommend it. It's a good one. As always, stay tuned for more Dad Days.